What's going on YouTube? I'm back once again, Ninja Turtle, and this will serve this video sort of not only as a month-end video wrap-up sort of thing for the month of March 2021, but also February because I didn't do one last month, and I actually got what you're looking at done a month ago, and I've saved it to now. So we have a revamped or reworked Spider-Gwen compared to how she previously looked from Hasbro. So again, this is a Marvel Legends Spider-Gwen, but it is redone. So what has been redone? So first of all, the original Marvel Legends Spider-Gwen, Gwen Stacy, had the chest was different. It was definitely a little bit more busty than that type of body mold. But one of the problems is that that Gwen Stacy looked terrible. The face was bad. It was not a good head whatsoever for the Gwen Stacy, the maskless version, and the other head looked fine. The actual head with the mask, it looked great actually, to be honest with you. But one of the problems with that old body mold is that the pin in the neck is really bad. So yeah, you have to you couldn't really use any other heads. You can't do like head swaps and stuff. So something like this, using this more recent Gwen Stacy head, would not have been possible whatsoever because the pin is like really small, and this fits on most modern heads. It's an average size pin for that, so this doesn't work. So let me tell you what I did. Well, actually, I should say that I actually went over this process on my video for Asuka from Neon Genesis Evangelion, about swapping pins and switching the torso, the pins in the torso. So again, this is the original upper torso for Gwen Stacy. Much bigger chest for Spider-Gwen, I should say. This is the original torso, and you can see I cut the neck off because one of the things I tried to do is just replace the neck by cutting this neck off and gluing a new neck on there, and that didn't work out whatsoever. But after switching pins and stuff and using this upper torso is one of these. Actually, this particular one is from the Amazon exclusive Psylocke, but it is the same style as this Blink one. But yeah, doing that, putting it on a new modern upper torso gives me a new pin for the neck, and I'm able to do this, put this new head for Gwen Stacy on. And just to compare, it is about the same as your movie Gwen Stacy. I mean, their paint jobs are completely different. So just a quick comparison of the two. Another thing that I did is I actually swapped out her lower legs. So I made her a little bit taller. Her lower legs before were the legs that have the cut in the calf area, and they're actually a little bit shorter. And there's nothing wrong with those legs, but I wanted her to be taller, so I swapped out these legs that came from Shikla, and so they're just straight black, and it's using the same shoes as the original Spider-Gwen, but just with longer legs. And then, you know, these are the movie legs. I just wanted her to be taller, which is funny because she's just barely taller than movie Spider-Gwen now because of this additional height from these legs. She would have been shorter if I left her the same. And these are the pinless legs, as opposed to the classic old school regular pins legs. This mid section was redone. Again, I had to crack it open and replace the pin on the inside, so this upper torso had to fit. So it was repainted entirely. I believe it actually was a actually, I don't know. I guess it was X23. It had to have been an X23. But I repainted all of that stuff. Here's the original torso for the Spider-Gwen. right here. So you can see this is the original Hasbro one from, you know, the whatever wave that was. But I tried to replicate the paint on there. So all of this was repainted by hand, black and white. And yeah, looks pretty decent. There's the back side again of this one. I tried to replicate this paint as well. That didn't work so well on the upper torso because of this on the side and the armpits. I tried to repaint that too. That didn't go too well. But what I should have done, and if you're going to do this for your Gwens, I would encourage you to not replicate what Hasbro did with their paint on Spider-Gwen, but actually look at a reference for her costume in the comic books, because this white section in the middle of her chest should be towards her abdominal. It should go lower. The same thing on this side. It should go lower towards her abdominal section. But Hasbro, I guess they cut corners, or they just didn't want to have paint rub or any issues, whatever, and just kept it all on one torso as opposed to having it bleed down to the next lower torso. Yeah, it's not supposed to look that way, but I didn't realize that at the time. I was just trying to match the original, and so I would encourage you to make it bleed down, because that way you'll have actually more room to get this little web pattern on the inside of her armpit to look good and be the way it's supposed to be. But overall, the torsos are different. This chest is much bigger and pronounced than the movie version. So I didn't want to just take this head and put it on this body. You can do that if you want to, though. There's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, if you took this head and put it on this body, it would look plenty good. And that's just a super easy and relatively lazy way of doing it, and it would look fine. Honestly, it would be fine, but you wouldn't have the actual comic book legs if you did that too. And you can't swap legs either. Maybe you can swap the shoes, but then you still have to deal with this this pattern. If you put these shoes here, you'd have to deal with that. And maybe you can sand that down. Maybe you want to do all that stuff. I don't know. That's up to you, your call. But that's how I did mine for Spider-Gwen. So I'm really happy to have both. I really want there to be a distinctive difference between movie and comic book, and because there is. And yeah, I got it. So that's how you get that done. I do also have the ability to put on the mask version, so let's go ahead and do that real quick. So the head I'm using on this is the new head that's coming with the movie Spider-Gwen. Oops, I forgot to take the hood off. Okay, so the head inside here is the head that comes with the movie Spider-Gwen. That's this one here, but the hood is from the original version. So the pink on here matches this pink. It's much lighter, and I didn't want to mess with that. So here is the old head right here. I still have it. So just in case I decide to get a Dremel and Dremel the hole much bigger, if I can get that, there we go. If I want to Dremel that much bigger so that it can actually fit this neck peg, I still have the head. It's just in case sort of thing, because the color on this matches everything else much better. And then this is the hood is for this Spider-Gwen. Like I said, this hood is for the original Spider-Gwen. So I still have that, and I think it looks fine though, just with this head. I'm totally fine with how that turns out. So that's just that. Let's move on to the next thing. Alright, and to wrap up this video, we're going to go over Black Widow. This is my modified Black Widow from Captain America the Winter Soldier. So one thing that I did here is, well, I mean, obviously I made her look more like Winter Soldier. So to get there, this body itself is the Infinity War body, but with the parts and pieces, some parts and pieces from the Infinity War wave. So guess what? We gotta look at this. This is the original body, and head from the Winter Soldier Black Widow. So guess what I did? I took her arms off and put them on the Infinity War body. So what does that lead to? You get the shield symbol on the arms, and they poured in there pretty well. They're a little scrawny, so this is like old Hasbro versus new Hasbro. You can see some big differences in the body mold, big differences here and there. But also even the fact that she has guns in her holsters where she didn't come with guns. But either way, let's not nitpick all of those things right now. The arms on here, again, this is Winter Soldier body, so this had the shield. This is before shield got taken down, so she was still a member of shield, and so we have that on there, and I don't have to actually paint that on, use decals, or do anything strenuous whatsoever. It's just swapping the arms. Took the arms off the Infinity War body. Again, it's the Infinity War body, so we have Infinity War right here for quick comparison. So just to get to this point, all I have to do is take this vest off, which is super easy. That's not, you don't even have to do, you can just rip it right off. And then, as you can see, I took also the hair from Winter Soldier, Black Widow, and I put it on the same head of the Infinity War. So we took this hair off. That one takes a little bit more effort, but boom, you get this. The only thing that needed to be done is that once you took the hair off of this one, there's still like that glue residue, the hardened stuff on the actual head sculpt. You could, if you want to, you probably don't need to, but I did anyway, sand down some of the glue off, just so that this hair can stick on there a little bit easier. But for the most part, it goes on there super easy. No real modifications needed to be done. The only thing I did do is I painted a little bit of flesh tone here on the corner of her head, because this part of her hair has glue on it, so it's her forehead has a little bit of glue there. So I sanded that down so it started to look a little scratched, and I just painted some flesh tone on there. It's really not a noticeable thing from far away whatsoever. You could have left it alone. I could have left it alone. It would have been fine. But since I'm using the same body mold with the same head and all of that stuff, the flesh tone matches from the head and the neck, so you don't have to worry about that whatsoever unless you wanted to paint it. The hair fits on there really great, and then everything else is exactly or relatively the same. All right. There are some color tone differences here and there. Like here, the back is like a dark gray, whereas the Infinity War body, it's all black, but it's not so bad that you need to paint it unless you really wanted to. I don't think it was very necessary, so I didn't. And I honestly think that the Infinity War / in-game suit is the best Black Widow suit and the best one that Hasbro made. So this is a good base to make more Black Widows, as opposed to using this. I mean, this, unless you really like the Chi-Chis, this is a better looking body mold to go forward with. So much so, of course, you also have the modified in-game version. If you got the in-game, like whatever pack that had this head sculpt on there, and then just put it on the same Infinity War body, did the same thing. That works out really well. But this one works out the best. I really like that a lot. Again, the only thing, old Hasbro had scrawny arms. These arms are really thin and kind of flimsy compared to the newer arms that are a little bit bulkier, a lot sturdier, and look nicer. But these would be more accurate, unless you really want to keep the new arms on there. The old hands on this one though had no articulation whatsoever. So I actually took the hands from Infinity War and just painted flesh tone on them so they can be fingerless gloves like they're supposed to be. That was like the highest effort thing that I did to achieve this. So if you want your Black Widow to look like this, you don't even have to paint them. They would just be all black. But if you really wanted to paint flesh tone and give fingerless gloves, that's the hardest thing about getting this Winter Soldier updated body mold in. Now, I still have other Black Widows that I want to make based off of this body mold, and it would be using this head, which is the other head that came with this Winter Soldier Black Widow. So I will be using this short hair on a Black Widow shortly. Well, I say shortly, but at some point. I think it's going to be my Age of Ultron Black Widow. So I'll still be using this body mold, and again, Hasbro has a Age of Ultron Black Widow, and it's really not easy to obtain. So I'm going to just repaint this and use this hair and do the exact same thing. So I also think this is the best Scarlett Johansson face that they made as well. So there goes that. So yeah, hopefully this will be an easy process. I will have to do some paint work on the Age of Ultron version, and I still also have a Civil War version planned, but that won't be using this body mold. That'll be completely different, but it'll still use the same head, and we'll see. I don't know if I'm going to do an Avengers 1 version of Black Widow, because that would be a little bit more difficult to get done because of the shield symbol and stuff like that. But that's it. It's not very hard at all. You can totally get it done for pretty, low effort, maybe not necessarily cheaply, because I don't know how much these are going for on eBay. They're pretty old, but they're also kind of highly coveted. I'm actually probably going to sell this body as fodder because I have no use for it otherwise, especially with no hair. So I might wait and then take this hair off and then sell both of them together. But yeah, if you want the body to use for something, you can look for it on my eBay at some point in the future. Because I want all my Black Widows to look like this. I think she just turns out really good. She looks great. Like, this looks awesome, dude. So anyway, thanks for watching, sharing. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for liking. Thanks for being here. And I will see you guys at some point in the near future. So let me really quickly wrap up that this will be the last video on the channel for a little while. I'm going to take a gaming break because I haven't played in games in a long time. I am a big gamer. I love my customs, but I love my games too. But I also just need a break from the grind of making toys and stuff like that. Reset my income, my supplies, and stuff like that. So I'll be playing Breath of the Wild, and I hear it's a pretty long game, so I'm probably going to be out of commission for a little while. But if you're subscribed, you will know when I'm back and making videos again, as well as there's other videos on the channel that you can go check out. But yeah, I'm going to be doing that, and Resident Evil 7 probably, and Avengers, and heck, it might be even bleeding into Resident Evil Village as well, because that's coming out very soon, and it's almost April at the time of this recording. By the time you're watching this, it will be April, so I don't know if I'm going to get all of those games done before Resident Evil Village comes out, so I might as well just play it when it comes out as well. So it might be a little while before I get going. Could be the summertime. And heck, Final Fantasy and Guilty Gear, this is going to be a pretty busy couple months of games. So I don't know. I'm going to be definitely continuing to make customs. It's just how long is it going to take for me to get to them would be more pertinent. I'm not 100% sure. And now that I'm looking at this, I'm just noticing how great would this be for Cammy. This actually would work really well for Cammy. Anyway, that's a complete sidebar. I will see you guys next time. Hopefully not too much of a delay. Make sure you're subscribed, and I will see you guys then. Peace.